¿Comemos en casa o comemos fuera? Como no hicimos mercado, mejor comemos fuera. Vale, pero vamos ya que tengo tanta hambre que me comería un elefante. Sí, yo también. In this little dialogue, you can already find two completely different uses of the word como. But there are so many chunks with the verb comer, and it comes up so often, we just had to make a video to cover it all. Yo soy Maura, de Spring Spanish, and let's now look at some of the most common uses of this irregular verb, its conjugation in the present tense, and a slightly confusing use that is not even a verb anymore. Empecemos. Número 1. Conjugating comer in the present tense. Sí, me encanta comer vegetariano porque no me siento pesada después. Lo sé, es súper distinto. Por eso yo como vegetariano 3 o 4 veces por semana. ¿De verdad? Nosotros estamos haciendo lo mismo. No sé cuántas veces por semana, pero comemos vegetariano cada vez que podemos. ¿En serio? ¿Incluso Mauricio, que siempre come en tu casa? Sí, es que ellos también comen más vegetariano ahora. Here we already have a bunch of chunks conjugated in the present. Let's complete the ones missing and put all of them into a little table so it's easier to visualize. Si llevas un tiempo con nosotros, ya sabes lo que tengo que decir sobre esta tabla. ¿O no? Do not, under any circumstance, think we expect you to memorize this. The idea is that all the chunks in this video contain the right conjugation, so as long as you remember those and use them in the right context, you're done. Eso es todo. It will be correct without you needing to drill conjugation rules into your head. That being said, let's now jump into that table. Yo como. Yo como vegetariano entre 3 y 4 veces por semana. Tú comes. Tú comes vegetariano entre 3 y 4 veces por semana. Ella, él, eso, come. Incluso Mauricio, que siempre come en tu casa. Nosotras, nosotros comemos. Comemos vegetariano cada vez que podemos. Ustedes comen. Ustedes también comen más vegetariano ahora. Ellas, ellos comen. Ellos también comen más vegetariano ahora. Jump alert! Tengo tanta hambre que me comería. This is one of those typical things we can say to express we're starving. The fun part is that it doesn't belong to any country and you can show off your personality by adding whatever your imagination can come up with at the end. For example, you could say, tengo tanta hambre que me comería un edificio. Try it out in the comments and show off your creativity by saying what you could eat because you're so hungry. Also down in the description is the link to our free Essential Spanish Chunking Kit, which you can click and get many more essential chunks to pump up your Spanish game right now. Número 2. Random chunks when comer isn't about eating. By the way, at the end of this video, we'll get into what the word como can do when it's not even a verb anymore. Same spelling, different meaning. I'll give you a little clue. It's something that like does in English too. Vamos en carro, ¿no? Sí, yo manejo. Vale, pero cuidado con no comerte una luz como el otro día. Uf, es que o me comía la luz o me comía al tipo de al lado que no paraba de gritarnos cosas. ¡Qué imbécil! Bueno, pero comerte una luz puede significar una multa. Y comerte a un tipo por imbécil es algo que realmente se merecía. Be careful with comerte a un tipo. It is likely that it might mean something sexual or loving, depending on the context and country. For me, it clearly means violence when someone says something like, uf, es que o me comía la luz o me comía al tipo de al lado que no paraba de gritarnos cosas. It's all about having an argument with the person in such a manner that you might as well have eaten the other person. It could be sexual or loving, though, when someone says it directly to you, like, te como. But it is the type of thing that you can also say about cuteness. So a friend could say it to you because you look rather cute that day, or you could say it to a pet or a baby, and it'll be quite tender and loving, not sexual at all. The other chunk we heard in this dialogue was cuidado con no comerte la luz. It might sound weird in English, but just know that when you run a light, you are comiéndote la luz in Spanish. Apart from this, we also have the empowering chunk comerse al mundo. For example, I have a friend who's on a moving adventure to Poland. She has a little girl to whom she's been saying the following. Ana, nos vamos a comer el mundo. Or, Ana, cómete el mundo. She tells her this when she drops her off at school or when they talk about what they're doing in Poland. The idea is to take advantage of everything, rise to the challenges, and make the best out of every new and complex situation. Así que, ya saben, vayan a comerse el mundo. Número 3. Similarities and differences with the English translation. All this talk about como has reminded me of a tongue twister from when I was a child. I remember it as being kind of hard to repeat. Let's come back to this at the end of this section and see if it's still just as hard. Similarities between comer and to eat. So, comer and to eat mean exactly the same thing in both languages when we're talking about food. ¿Qué vamos a comer esta noche? Yo no puedo comer lácteos. Maybe you could push it a bit and use the chunk te como in English as we do in Spanish. So I could grab Margarito and tell him he's so cute that
Te voy a comer. Dicho.
Differences between comer and to eat. As we've seen so far, we have many idiomatic expressions with comer that wouldn't translate to English. Also, there's that word with the same spelling, como, that has nothing to do with comer or to eat. We'll get into that right after this section. Examples for when the literal translation of English wouldn't work could be Ana, cómete el mundo. Vale, pero cuidado con no comerte la luz como el otro día. A tongue twister with como. It's quite short, but it forces you to understand most of what como can do in Spanish. Probamos, vale. This is how it goes. El que poco coco come, poco coco compra. Y como poco coco como, poco coco compro. Try saying it fast and without mistakes and let me know how you did in the comments. Número 4. When como means something completely different.
Como no sabía que íbamos a salir, no le dije a Alex. ¿Tú crees que se moleste?
No creo, pero por si acaso le puedes escribir y decirle que fue algo de último minuto.
Claro, cómo no. La invito, pero le digo que es como ella prefiera, que no hay presión porque nosotras vamos saliendo ya. Exacto, bien.
None of the times you saw the word como in the dialogue, it was acting as the verb to eat or comer. It is actually a completely different word, an adverb to be precise. So you can have an idea of what's happening here. Think of the word like in English. It can be a verb, I like cinnamon, or it can be an adverb. This feels like a dream. Same type of thing happens with como. It can be a verb, yo no como carne roja, or it can be an adverb like seen in the dialogue. Como no sabía que íbamos a salir, como ella prefiera. The other way in which we can use como is as a question. This time it'll have an accent mark on the first O. ¿Cómo no? ¿Cómo estás? ¿Cómo nos vamos al restaurante? Now that you know everything that como can do, you'll have a better chance at understanding how that tongue twister works. Let's take a look at it one more time and differentiate when como is acting as a verb and when it's acting as an adverb. El que poco coco come, poco coco compra. Y como poco coco como, poco coco compro. We have 3 comos. Número 1, come. Número 2, como. Número 3, como. Which one's the verb comer and which one isn't? Correct answer. Number 1 and number 3 are verbs. Number 2 isn't. Since we've done quite a few verb videos, we've created a playlist with all of them. Now it's easy for you to make sure you've seen them all and add them to your array of Spanish verbs. Click the image on the screen to go straight to that playlist. I'll see you there.